You are not stuck. And yet, if you're watching this, something in your life keeps looping: relationships, patterns, opportunities, even failures that all feel eerily familiar. You wonder why, despite your efforts, the same challenges keep resurfacing. The truth is startling. Your reality repeats because your energy is repeating. You're not broken, and it's not bad luck. You are cycling through vibrational patterns, broadcasting the same frequencies, and the universe, ever faithful, responds by giving you what you resonate with. This is not a metaphor. Quantum physics shows that at the subatomic level, everything exists as probability waves. Particles don't settle into a state until observed. The same principle applies to your life. Your energy, focus, and attention act as the observer, collapsing infinite possibilities into the reality you experience. If your energy is tuned to patterns of fear, scarcity, or self-doubt, the external world faithfully mirrors that frequency. Your reality isn't broken. It's perfectly aligned with the state you carry internally. The first step is awareness. Most people are unconscious repeaters. They think effort alone will change outcomes, so they push harder, try new strategies, or seek external solutions, but the internal frequency, the core signal, is unchanged. Imagine trying to tune a radio while the station is constantly drifting. You might twist knobs endlessly, hoping for clarity, but until the transmitter stabilizes, the signal remains fuzzy. Your energy is the transmitter. Until you reset it, reality will continue to loop. Historical mystics understood this. The mystery schools of Egypt, Taoist sages, and Vedantic teachers all spoke of cycles, karma, and vibrational alignment. They described practices that reset consciousness, liberating individuals from repeated patterns. Carl Jung echoed this in the modern era, identifying how unconscious patterns, once ingrained, manifest repeatedly as life lessons until they are consciously integrated. Quantum physics now validates these teachings. Coherence, attention, and observation literally shape the unfolding of reality. But why do these patterns persist so stubbornly? Because repetition is reinforced by the mind-body system. Neural pathways, emotional habits, and even subtle energetic signatures maintain the same broadcast frequency. You may try affirmations, goal setting, or visualization, but if your underlying energy is unchanged, those efforts hit a static field. They cannot break through the signal that drives repetition. This is why conscious energy resetting is crucial. The concept of energy resetting is simple in principle, but transformative in practice. It is the act of clearing, recalibrating, and realigning your internal frequency to break habitual loops. Like a computer reboot, it halts old programs from running automatically and allows new patterns to emerge. The universe responds to your new energetic signal, not the old familiar broadcast. And the beauty is, you don't need months of meditation or retreat. You need awareness, intentionality, and a practical reset protocol. Here's how the first layer works. Start with presence observation. Stop and notice where your energy is caught. Which emotions dominate? Which recurring thoughts or fears dictate your attention? Label them without judgment. This is the active measurement, the observer principle in action. Just by noticing, you collapse the habitual loop and create a space for realignment. It's not about pushing away or fighting patterns. It's about being conscious of the broadcast you are sending. Next, introduce breath-based recalibration. Your breath is the most immediate bridge between body, mind, and energy field. Slow, deep, heart-centered breathing generates coherence, stabilizes the nervous system, and begins to shift vibrational patterns. Even 3 minutes of focused breathing changes heart rhythm, neurochemistry, and subtle electromagnetic output. You are not only calming yourself, you are modifying the frequency that reality responds to. The third layer involves energetic cleansing. Visualize your energy field as a container filled with repeated patterns, old emotions, and habitual loops. Imagine a cleansing wave, light, breath, or imagined energy, moving through your field, clearing stagnant energy, dissolving attachments to past outcomes, and opening space for new possibilities. Ancient traditions called this prana, chi, or subtle energy. Modern research on biofields and subtle energy supports the idea that human physiology and consciousness extend beyond the body, and clearing interference literally changes your energetic signature. Once your field is cleared, it's time for alignment intention. Instead of wishing for a different outcome, focus on becoming the state you want to live in. If your repeated reality revolves around scarcity, embody abundance internally. If it centers on conflict, cultivate inner peace. Your energy becomes the blueprint for the new reality. Quantum mechanics, heart math research, and even psychological studies on embodied cognition confirm that your internal state, when consciously modulated, reshapes behavior, perception, and external outcomes. A subtle but critical insight is that energy resets are iterative. You are unlikely to break long-standing loops in a single session. Like tuning a string instrument, small adjustments over time create a stable, harmonious vibration. Each reset, observation, and recalibration reinforces the new frequency. Each micropractice compounds, gradually overriding old patterns with coherent energy that consistently produces the reality you consciously choose. And here's where practical life hacks come in for busy people. You can embed these resets throughout the day. Before a meeting, a commute, or a stressful task, pause for a 60-second presence check. Observe habitual emotional responses, recalibrate with heart-centered breath, and affirm alignment with your intended state. Even brief resets compound over a day to produce measurable shifts in energy, perception, and outcomes. Yet, even with practice, many struggle because society trains us to focus externally rather than internally. Work, media, social pressures, and constant stimulation keep attention outward, reinforcing old patterns. The energy reset isn't just personal, it's a rebellion against habitual distraction. You are reclaiming control over your internal broadcast, consciously choosing the frequency to which the universe responds. If you're ready to break these loops and start consciously tuning your reality, subscribing now ensures you don't miss the full step-by-step guide in this series. This channel explores how quantum principles, consciousness science, and practical embodiment intersect to give you the tools to stop repeating old realities and begin resetting your energy deliberately and consistently. Yet even after the first awareness and recalibration, a deeper question arises. How do you maintain this reset day after day in the midst of distractions, emotional triggers, and external demands? How do you embed the new energy state so that repetition becomes impossible and aligned reality becomes your default? That's exactly what we'll explore in Part 2. The practical daily integration, emotional calibration, and subtle energetic strategies that make transformation real. Breaking the cycle of repeated reality isn't just about noticing patterns. It's about retraining your internal system so that old loops no longer dominate your attention, emotions, and energy. Imagine your life as a radio continuously broadcasting the same station. No matter how much you wish for something new, the frequency stays the same until you consciously retune it. That's what integration does. It allows your new energetic signal to stabilize and carry forward so that the universe naturally responds to it. The first layer of integration is emotional recalibration. Patterns repeat because unresolved emotions echo in the field of your consciousness. Anxiety, resentment, fear, or attachment act as feedback loops, reinforcing the reality you are trying to leave behind. The energy reset begins with recognizing these currents. Notice what feelings arise in response to recurring situations. Label them without judgment. Then intentionally shift into a coherent emotional state: gratitude, curiosity, calm, or openness. This shift is subtle but profound. It changes the frequency of your field and begins to redirect the outcomes you attract. Next, embed micro-resets into daily routines. You don't need long meditations or retreats to maintain coherence. Pause for brief, intentional moments throughout your day, before meetings, during commutes, or between tasks. Use 3 simple steps. Observe your state, recalibrate with heart-centered breath, and set a focused intention. Each pause reinforces the reset, gradually retraining your nervous system, aligning your mind-body energy system, and disrupting the habitual loops that keep reality repeating. Quantum physics validates this. Repeated observation and intention over time collapse probabilities into the outcomes you align with consistently. Another advanced strategy is energetic clearing using visualization. Your energy field carries residual patterns, imprints of repeated experiences, old fears, and unconscious habits. Spend a few moments visualizing stagnant energy leaving your field, replaced by vibrant, coherent energy aligned with your intentions. Ancient practices called this prana, chi, or subtle energy cleansing. Modern science on biofields and consciousness supports the idea that human energy is dynamic and responsive. By intentionally clearing your field, you open space for new potential to emerge rather than recycling old patterns. Integration also requires embodied alignment. Your body, mind, and energy field must resonate together to prevent habitual patterns from reasserting themselves. Small practices, postural alignment, gentle movement, or conscious breath reinforce coherence. For example, standing or sitting in an open, expansive posture while breathing heart-centered breaths signals your nervous system and energetic field that you are present, capable, and ready to receive aligned outcomes. Embodiment turns abstract energy shifts into tangible, lived experience. A subtle but crucial aspect is intention reinforcement. After resetting your energy and aligning emotionally and physically, layer in clear intentions. Focus not on outcomes alone, but on the state you wish to inhabit. If your old reality centered on conflict, embody peace. If scarcity dominated, embody abundance. This is the difference between chasing results and becoming the state that naturally produces them. Quantum principles tell us that your attention and consciousness direct probability. By inhabiting the aligned state, you automatically collapse potential into a reality that matches your frequency. Consistency is key. Repetition doesn't mean rigidity, it means reinforcement. Habits of attention, emotion, and energy shape neural and energetic pathways. Each micro-reset, visualization, and embodied breath compounds, gradually overriding old loops. You begin to notice how situations that once repeated themselves start to dissolve or resolve naturally. Relationships, finances, creativity, and health begin to reflect a new frequency. You are no longer trapped in the old patterns because your internal signal has changed. Yet, even with awareness, recalibration, and consistent integration, the environment can challenge your reset. External stress, relational triggers, or unexpected events can pull you back into familiar patterns. This is where energetic anchoring comes in. Choose a subtle cue, a touch, sound, gesture, or phrase that instantly reminds you to return to coherence. Over time, your nervous system associates this anchor with the aligned state. It becomes a shortcut for resetting energy instantly, even in the midst of chaos. Busy lives demand this kind of practical, portable technique, ensuring that old loops don't reassert themselves when distraction strikes. Advanced practitioners layer intentional observation into daily moments. Rather than waiting for a full reset session, they notice patterns as they arise, adjust their internal state, and prevent the loop from consolidating. This could be as simple as noticing frustration during a traffic jam and shifting attention inward, taking a breath, and consciously releasing tension. These split-second corrections are enough to disrupt habitual broadcasts and reinforce the new energy pattern, gradually reprogramming reality from within. Another layer of mastery is collective resonance awareness. Just as your personal energy field affects your own reality, it interacts with others' fields. Old patterns often repeat in relationships because energetic resonance attracts mirroring dynamics. When you reset your energy and maintain coherence, you influence relational patterns subtly, drawing aligned connections and repelling scenarios that reinforce repetition. In this way, your energy reset doesn't just change you, it transforms the field around you, producing tangible shifts in your environment. Finally, track progress. Keep a journal or log subtle shifts in experience, emotional state, and synchronicities. Notice when repeated patterns no longer appear, when conversations shift in tone, when opportunities arise naturally rather than through effort or force. This reinforces the energetic feedback loop. Conscious attention and recalibration produce measurable reality shifts, confirming that the process works. Tracking also strengthens your internal awareness, allowing you to fine-tune energy resets and sustain alignment. By now, it should be clear, stopping repeated realities requires conscious observation, energetic recalibration, emotional alignment, micro-resets, and consistent intention layering. These are not abstract principles. They are actionable, repeatable, and accessible even in a busy life. Each layer compounds, gradually transforming old loops into coherent, intentional experiences. The universe responds to the state you inhabit. The moment your energy resets, your reality follows. Even so, a deeper question arises. How do you transform these practices into an identity-level shift, so that repetition becomes impossible and aligned reality becomes the default? That is the focus of Part 3, where we explore embodiment, long-term integration, and practical techniques that make energy resetting a permanent, transformative practice. The ultimate power of an energy reset isn't in a single session. It's in becoming a person who naturally maintains a coherent, aligned frequency. When repetition stops, it isn't because circumstances magically change. It's because you have transformed your internal signal. Your thoughts, emotions, and energy field now resonate at a frequency that aligns with the reality you consciously choose. Patterns that once dominated no longer stick because your entire being, mind, heart, and body, is broadcasting a new signal. This transformation begins with identity. Most people repeat reality because their unconscious identity is wired to old loops. I am unlucky. I always attract conflict. I can't get ahead. Energy resets interrupt these patterns, but the real shift comes when you internalize a new identity. The person who embodies abundance, clarity, peace, and possibility. This is more than a mindset. It is a vibrational signature, a state your body, mind, and energy system inhabit continuously. You are no longer reacting to external events. You are shaping them from within. Embodiment is essential. Integration moves beyond visualization or intention into lived experience. Posture, breath, movement, and emotional coherence are all part of your energy signature. Simple practices like standing tall, softening the shoulders, breathing heart-centered breaths, and maintaining emotional awareness become the physical expression of your aligned frequency. Quantum principles suggest that your energy field radiates outward, subtly affecting outcomes and interactions. The way you inhabit your body is just as important as the way you inhabit your thoughts. Next, anchor coherence in your daily routines. Micro-resets, intentional pauses, and energy recalibrations should become habitual. For example, before entering a meeting, responding to a message, or stepping into a challenging interaction, pause for a few seconds. Observe your internal state, recalibrate with breath and emotional alignment, and set your intention. Over time, these micro-resets compound, reinforcing the energy reset and ensuring that old loops no longer dominate your experience. You are not performing rituals for effect. You are programming a new baseline frequency. Another layer is energetic hygiene. This involves clearing stagnant patterns regularly, releasing attachments to outcomes, and letting go of residual energy from previous experiences. Visualization, breath work, or intentional movement can cleanse your field. Think of it like decluttering a room. When old energy is removed, new possibilities can enter effortlessly. Ancient teachings, from Taoist Qi practices to Vedic pranayama, emphasize this as a crucial step in breaking repetitive cycles. Modern biofield research confirms that clearing energetic interference changes physiological patterns, neural responses, and even behavioral tendencies. Integration also requires emotional mastery. Observe recurring triggers, frustrations, or anxieties without becoming entangled. Instead of reacting unconsciously, pause and consciously choose your response. This is where habitual loops are finally interrupted. By maintaining coherence under stress, You create a new energetic baseline that no longer aligns with repetition. Over time, your nervous system, mind, and energy field recalibrate, producing consistent alignment. You move from fragmented, reactive existence to intentional, coherent living. Relationships, too, transform dramatically when energy resets become permanent. People often repeat relational patterns because energy fields attract mirroring dynamics. When you reset your frequency, you no longer unconsciously broadcast old patterns. Relationships begin to reflect clarity, resonance, and balance. Conflicts that once repeated themselves dissolve, and new connections arise effortlessly, in alignment with your coherent state. You are influencing reality not through effort or manipulation, but through vibrational presence. Advanced practitioners layer intention stacking and identity reinforcement throughout the day. Each action, thought, and interaction becomes an opportunity to consolidate coherence. You move from resetting energy in isolated sessions to living as a coherent field of aligned potential. Every choice reinforces your identity as someone who breaks loops, embodies intention, and co-creates reality rather than reacting to it. Quantum mechanics teaches that observation and alignment collapse possibilities into outcomes. When your baseline is coherent, repetition becomes impossible because your energy no longer resonates with old loops. Now let's talk about cumulative transformation. The repeated practice of energy resets, micropauses, emotional calibration, and embodied alignment compounds. Patterns that once dominated your life dissolve. Situations that seemed inevitable shift organically. You begin to notice synchronicities, opportunities, and aligned outcomes as natural extensions of your internal coherence. Life stops being a series of loops and becomes a dynamic, responsive field that mirrors your conscious attention. By now, it should be clear that this is not just a technique, it's a lifestyle, a vibrational identity. You are no longer constrained by old habits, fears, or limitations. Your internal frequency has become the standard, and reality responds faithfully. This is the power of quantum-aligned energy resetting. Repetition ceases, alignment emerges, and your life becomes a reflection of the coherent, intentional state you inhabit. And here is your activation. Take a moment now. Place your hand on your heart, breathe deeply, observe your current internal state, and release any repetitive patterns you notice. Visualize them dissolving. Inhale alignment, exhale old loops. Set a clear intention for the day, embodying coherence, presence, and aligned frequency. Feel your mind, heart, and body resonating together. Recognize that this moment is the start of a new baseline. From this point forward, every interaction, thought, and decision is influenced by a coherent, intentional frequency that cannot repeat the old reality. If this resonates with you, subscribing now ensures you continue receiving practical tools, insights, and step-by-step guidance to master your energy, break old loops, and consciously co-create your reality. Here, we explore science, consciousness, and actionable embodiment in ways that fit modern life, so even the busiest schedules can support lasting transformation. The final insight is profound. Repetition is not a curse, it is a signal. The moment you observe it, reset your energy, and embody alignment, repetition ceases. You are no longer a passenger in life. You are the navigator, the field architect, the conscious creator. Every moment becomes an opportunity to reinforce coherence, collapse potential into presence, and live intentionally. Old patterns cannot dominate a field that is alive, aligned, and intentional. Your reality is waiting for your conscious energy to arrive. Observe, reset, align, embody, and watch as the loops dissolve. Step fully into your coherent frequency, and life responds, not because of effort, luck, or external circumstances, but because you have become the signal to which reality naturally conforms.